It is day 4 in my series of pre-birthday week celebration.
It's gonna be my birthday!
Day 4. And the topic is stuff you might not have known about me. Here are just a few small tidbits of information. I am an ordained minister. And I have actually performed a wedding ceremony. 2 people in this world are married due to my presence at their ceremony. If I wasn't there, they'd still be married. Somebody else would have done it. But I was the one. I was the guy. So I hope they don't split up, because it'll make me look bad. And the reason I became an ordained minister was not to perform ceremonies, actually. That just happened to be a side benefit of knowing 2 awesome people. But the only reason I got an ordination online, so I didn't go to seminary. Well, the reason is because I didn't want to I wanted to go to seminary, but I didn't want to spend the time to go to seminary. I actually did want to study the Bible in an institution and possibly become institutionalized after. I have made a lifelong study of Judeo-Christian tradition. I own several Bibles. The Bible is probably my favorite book, in a tie with Cosmos by Carl Sagan. So, I've always been fascinated with religion, so I thought I would, I considered going to seminary and decided I didn't want to spend the time, because at the time I was doing theater and didn't want to stop doing theater to go to school. So, instead, I awarded myself an ordination. So, let's talk religion sometime. It'll be fun. Well, another thing about me, Stan Peele. Because, why not just keep talking about myself? I'm the only one here. I have not always been interested in theater or acting. I spent most of my childhood, all the way up through high school, as a graphic artist. I wanted to be an artist. I drew stuff, and that was how I chose to express my creativity. Here are some examples of stuff that I drew. Something like that, and most recently, that. In fact, there was a time when I was 8 or 9. My entire family, or at least all my siblings, participated in this community theater show, South Pacific. And for whatever reason, I was the only one to refuse to be in that show. I think my little sister was in it. My brother and my 2 older sisters were in it. They all had these small parts in South Pacific, and I did not. I would not, absolutely refuse to be. I think I refused to go to the audition. I think that was part of it, and then I just didn't want to be in front of people. So things have changed. I still wouldn't be in South Pacific if you paid me, because it is a misogynist piece of crap. However, it has great songs. So does 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Seven Brides for 7 Brothers. Also, crapola. Anti-woman propaganda. BS. Do not see those 2 shows. Do not support them in any way. If your local community theater is doing 7 Brides for 7 Brothers or South Pacific, give them money. Donate money to them. Support them. Help them build their set. But don't see that show. Those shows. Either of them. I hate them. I hate them! Okay. One more thing. We have a giant fountain in our backyard. Well, behind our house here. It's more like it's a big sort of trough of water. 100 and some gallons. 110, 150. I don't know. Over 100 gallons. It's gigantic. And why do we have it? That's another story. But we have this thing, this giant tank of water, and this, circulation pump in there to sort of circulate the water. And it's gotten to the point where the water is terrible, and it needed to be emptied. And I took this giant bucket and took a bunch of water out of it, 2 bucketfuls, and you couldn't even tell that any water had been removed from it. And I was like, then I remembered when my father taught me how to steal gasoline from a car with a siphon hose. And I applied that hillbilly tradition to emptying out this water trough. And it was awesome. It was like the easiest thing in the world. I stuck a hose in there. I carried it to a lower part of the lawn. I didn't even have to suck on it, which, you know, when you steal gas, I don't know if you've ever stolen gas, but when you do that, you have to, you know, perform a little suction on the hose, if you know what I mean. And if you're not careful, you could get a mouthful of gasoline, which I have, and it's not fun. And gross, mildewed water is no better. So, luckily, when I moved the hose, the water inside was like circulating around as I moved the hose around and started the suction without me having to do anything. I just set the hose on the ground. The water just started flowing out of the hose, and 2 or 3 hours later, it was empty. 100 gallons into the neighbor's yard. I'm sure it was my yard, actually, but probably some went into the neighbor's yard. Anyway, so those are 3 little pieces of trivia about me. I'm an ordained minister. I hated theater when I was a child. And I can steal your gas. That's it! Birthday week, day 4. Cha-cha-cha.